What's up, everyone? Today, I want to make a video specifically relating to dating and why I think looksmaxing is a non negotiable at this point. So, let's get right into it. So, I was inspired to make this video by a post I saw on a Passport Bro Reddit forum the other day, and this picture caught my attention a lot. So, pretty much, this situation overview is we have an overweight Filipina sub 5 who went abroad to Europe to work, and it's actually a part of a cultural exchange, working as an au pair, which pretty much means she lived with a family for 1 to 2 years, working as a babysitter, and potentially had, the opportunity to segue herself into a other job or student type of opportunity in the country and potentially like immigrate to the country, or she can just go back to her country depending on how things go, year later. Not That's pretty much how it works if you're not familiar with that whole thing. And I've actually had the opportunity to meet a handful of girls who are doing this exchange program within the city where I'm at currently. So when I saw this picture, it was not surprising at all for me to see that this girl pretty much went on the carousel in Europe when she had the opportunity. And she's actually the perfect candidate to go on the carousel because she's not attractive. She's overweight, doesn't really have, redeeming facial features to compensate for her being overweight. I mean, pretty much we know within looks maxing and within the BP space, if you're overweight, it's really going to be a lot more difficult to be attractive. But, being a female, she can compensate with makeup to create the illusion of a bit more facial angularity. But, we know what we're looking at. There's no real reason to drag that point on for much longer. But she was shocked by how easy it was for her to get with European men, especially considering she mentions how, why are white men so easy? And she's specifically a brown Filipino. So, you get a deeper insight into how like the whole passport bro thing really works within this type of post. But yeah, like I said, it makes a lot of sense. She went on the carousel because I've met a lot of these girls who do this exchange program, and it's very clear that they all come with the intention in mind of, oh, I could meet this foreigner who's white, pretty much like change their life overnight, sort of thing. And she's the perfect candidate, like I was mentioning, because she's at a looks level to where she doesn't really have to like maintain her purity in order to get some top tier guy, because her getting a top tier guy in a long term relationship in, Europe, the United States, Canada, for example, it's just not going to happen. It's not in the cards for her with what she looks like right now. So, for her, would she rather be with some low tier normie or go on the carousel with the most attractive guy she finds? Like, it's a pretty obvious choice at that point. And a low tier normie 5 to 10 years down the road isn't gonna have anything to say about it. She can easily hide it, but he's not gonna have anything to say about it because he's just so happy he's cured his loneliness. So like, it doesn't really matter when you're that type of girl at this point. But my analysis really goes more into showing how we kind of speculate like, oh, girls can just go on the carousel. Like, you could easily, like, if you're a girl, like, you could easily go on 3 dates in a day if that's really what you want to dedicate yourself to. And you can make it super easy for the guy to close you. You can just invite them over if you have your own place. Obviously, this context is not really relevant to her, but like, you can easily rack up, as many bodies as you really want, and really just destroy your pair bonding capabilities, very fast. But it just shows that there are girls who can actually do this and they're actually willing to do this. And of course, like I mentioned, she's the perfect candidate, but it shows you that, look, when a girl's in that hypergamous mode, like, they can fully turn it up to 100. And what really shocked me about this post, though, was just how attractive the guys are. Like, these are like mostly high tier normies in these photos. Like, these are guys who you would think are capable of getting a long term relationship with a girl like significantly more attractive than her. And we do understand the male mating strategy where like going in volume is, nothing to be ashamed of. And we've pretty much all been there at that point. But in this circumstance, like it just shocks me how many of them and what high levels of attractiveness you see in this photo, and it makes me really appreciate like seeing my friends, seeing myself still be able to get like some results from online, knowing that like there's guys that are better looking and they're willing to do lower. Like it's actually insane at this point to see actual photo evidence because we know, okay, yeah, it happens, but like to see photo evidence with this much of a looks disparity where this girl pretty much has all of the cards going against her, like wow. Because it's not like this guy, these, we know deep down inside, it's not like these guys have a thing for bigger women or like a woman from Southeast Asia, because if they had a thing for women from Southeast Asia, they wouldn't be going for this one who has poor health indicators. And the further point was when you look at the deeper context of all this and how they're actually willing to take photos with this girl. When you are with a girl who's way up, below your looks match, it's almost like embarrassing at that point. Like it feels like you're playing the game on easy, and like it's almost embarrassing to know that you like boosted all the difficulty settings to make them in favor of you, to where it's almost like shameful to like let a girl like this take a picture and then I'm going to take a picture like kissing her. It's just like brutal. Like why are these guys taking photos with this girl? Like that'd be something I'd be, turning my head the other way or being like, yeah, we don't really do that sort of thing. But it just shows you how brutal it is, but can't really fault them, I guess. Teaches their own. And the last point that really caught my attention of all of this that I really want to bring up in this video was that we have the common narrative that like foreign women, in Southeast Asia or Latin America, like they really just can't tell what attractive like European white guy looks like. Not true, because it's not like we're seeing low tier normies or like normies in majority of these photos. We're seeing actually guys like with pretty high looks level, like decent appeal. Like it makes sense why these guys could get a result online, but it goes to show that it's not just like line up and be a white guy and go to Southeast Asia, go to any of these popular passport bro locations, and you're gonna get results. The only reason why I think you can be that low tier normie, potentially even sub 5 guy, and go to Southeast Asia and some of these other popular passport bro places and get results is usually as a SMB type of thing where you're in the country, so you can actually provide them with more outlets to maximize their hypergamy, both through status, income, and providing them a lifestyle that they're not going to be able to obtain in that country. And also, you're the minority there if you're some white European guy going to Latin America, Southeast Asia. Like you're the minority, so they have less of that phenotype to choose from. So you're removing more of the competition. But when you actually flip the spectrum and you bring that girl to the United States, to Europe, to Canada, to Australia, the roles are flipped. Like she's now actually going to maximize hypergamy and try to use, all her resources to be with the most attractive guy she can possibly be with. So it sort of, shuts the door to the idea that these women just can't tell which white men are attractive and that's why guys get results there, even if they're subhuman. No, they actually can tell, and it's shown by girls like this who actually went to the place, saw all of them, and had an abundance to choose from. That narrative, I think, is mostly cope. The idea that they just like can't figure out what's attractive. Like an attractive jaw is an attractive jaw. Like it's not like they can't tell just because they're blinded by color. There's other circumstances that compensate for that. So that was sort of my main point with all of this. And I really don't think there's that much more to add other than the fact that things are pretty brutal. But I'll catch you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching.